What's going on, ladies and gents? What is going on? It's been a minute. Sitting up here in windy Idaho. It is windy out. And so we're headed to California, the city of industry, California. Whoop, my computer's sliding on my steering wheel. There we go. So there is a um, wind advisory, up to 80-mile-an-hour winds in the valleys. So actually, I'm going to go around. Uh, I'm going to go through Salt Lake City on 84, then drop down to 15 and go straight down from there. So I can just stay out of that valley because I know AJ be safe in those bad ones. I know I'm avoiding the area for sure. Hang on, dude. So Swift driver over here banging the doors, but the uh, the winds and those fires up there. That's why the fires were got so bad. Is because the wind has been basically throwing the embers to other places, creating another fire. I think when I was coming through Sacramento a few days ago, they were talking about up there in the Napa Valley area. They had already burned 20,000 acres. I mean, it was something crazy. So I'm just gonna. I got a pretty heavy load this time, so I ain't got to worry about too much of the wind. I'm gonna have 43,000 in the box, so shouldn't be that bad. But still, I ain't gonna risk it, and I got plenty of time, so I'll just go that route. Should be a nice, smooth route. Don't have to worry about. I could go down, I think 95, go over to 80, drop down on the 5. But so I was in Texas. Then in Texas, I went to California. Then California, I went to Oregon. Then I deadheaded from Oregon to here to Napa, I don't know, Nampa, Idaho, which is right beside of Boise. And I've just been running. They got a pretty cool little setup here. If you guys have not checked out my Instagram or Facebook, go check it out. But they actually got where you can check in on this kiosk machine. And the only place I've seen anybody have something like that was Nestle in, I think it's like North Carolina or something. But I mean, it makes everything quicker. You just put your stuff in there, and boom, that's it. You gotta be, you gotta deal with the people. That's what I like about it, because sometimes the people behind the counter can definitely ruin your day, as Chad says the other day. I woke him up last night. I called him. I guess it's about 8:30, 9 o'clock, and was asking him about the which way would be the best way. Blah blah blah. I was trying to stay away from Tehachapi, which they got real bad winds up there in the valley. So I was just really trying to avoid the area altogether. So but he said 84 to 15 going straight down. I'll go through Salt Lake, go through Vegas. Uh, so it does not deliver until Monday at 9 o'clock, 2100. So plenty of time to get there. Plenty of time. Yeah, I sit yesterday. So when I was delivering that load to Oregon yesterday from California, I picked up in California, drove it down to Hermiston, Oregon. And it was a little, I don't know, it was a little Mayberry town. There was nothing around, literally nothing. It was a drop and hook on my 90. So I just ran it up there and dropped it really early. Came out, got a load, got a pre-plan, and that was the only load I had on my paycheck as far as for this week. It was $2,200. It paid good, $2.20 a mile going up there. And the other stuff, my fleet manager sent me something that was going to Maryland, and it paid really good. It paid, I think, $4,200, but delivery was not until next Thursday, so I would not got another check on or another load on this check coming. Sorry guys, I got some nasal issues here. My sinus has been kicking, but so I just turned that load down because I told him I needed another load on this paycheck. And even though so I was telling my wife, even though that $4,200, that's a pretty good paycheck as far as one run, but you got to consider that's 7 days worth of running, and yet that's fine. But you're going to probably spend, I'd say close to $700 to $1,000 on fuel with the fuel prices over here in the West Coast. I mean, they're like $3.19. Places that I'm used to filling up at $1.90, $2.25, and that's usually $2.25. That's on the high side of things. But you get over here, and it's here we go. They're beating and banging now. There we go. But it's $3.19. $2.91 was the cheapest I found, and that was a Petro. So when a Petro, sorry guys, that they're loading, so it's bouncing around a little bit. But when a Petro is your cheapest, then there's some issues going on there. But I'm not sure what exactly they're putting on here, but so 43,000 is going to be in the box. So just so you guys know this, that the California has a law where you cannot go past the 6 toe on your tandems. So this is going to be a tricky load, because usually when you're in, you got that much weight on them that you're in, like, hoe number 12 or something like that, to kind of balance out everything. So, but they got a scale here on the on site. So once they finish doing whatever they're loading up here, I'll go hit the scale. Then I will roll out. But I'll have to go ahead and put it in the 6 toe to make sure we're all good, because going to California, I mean, I probably hit, I say 20 or so weigh stations. I didn't get called in, but didn't get the pre-pass where I had to go through, weigh everything. So you definitely want to make sure that your weight is legit. But the heaviest load I've ever done, and that was at the craft, was a little over 46,000 pounds. And I'm pretty sure that's hey, talk to you later, Jason. Good talking to you. And driver, be safe. See you, man. But 40, a little over 46,000 pounds was the highest, was the most weight I've ever done in the box, and that pretty much pushed the truck at. I mean, it was like 79,800 something. It was pretty crazy. But now I tell you, over at Craft in Missouri, they will load you up. You know, if and now they asked me when they before they started, and they said, "What's the most weight you ever had in here?" And I think at that time it was like 45,000, and they said, "Well, we're going to this one's like 40, a little over 46,000, and we'll try to work it out where." Do you know if you're going to go through any weigh stations? I'm thinking like, probably. And he was like, oh, so you don't want to risk it, do you? And I'm like, no, negative. So, but they'll throw it on there with no regard because it's your fault. So typically how it works is, say I get loaded up here and I go and I scale out, which they have to scale here on site. So I scale out and I'm overweight. Uh, I can be 12.5 on my steer tires, 34 on my drive tires, and 34 on my trailer tires. So if you go over any of those weights, you're technically in violation. So and they allow us. Now this is what I heard. I don't know it to be the gospel or anything, but I've heard where our tractors has the APU, basically your generator, that they will allot some weight for that. So, for example, if you're a little overweight on your tractor tires, I've heard they will give you a little leniency, but I ain't trying to go there in the first place. So what's everybody doing today? Everybody enjoying themselves. I got here last night, so I just been chilling. Got up this morning. My appointment actually was not until 2 o'clock, 1400 today, and went ahead and checked in at like 9:20. Got in the door, and they're loading me pretty quick. So we're already at 26,000 in the trailer. So I should be up and out of here by 10:30, 11 o'clock with a fresh clock. And I'll be running Sundays is pretty good. Clinton, last day at home, leaving out tomorrow for Michigan. Yeah, that first day back usually is always the roughest for me to kind of get back in the swing of things, because usually when I go home for like 8 to 12 days. Typically, if I'm doing a home time, I'm gonna go for 8 to 12 days. 12 days is a little long, but when you're out of the truck for that long and you got some miles to run, your first day is usually always the roughest. For me, it is, anyways. This guy over here brought some onions. So when I pulled up by the shipping office, the whole place smelled like onions, which I love onions. But a lot of the stuff I've been carrying here lately has been super light, super light. I mean, like 19, 23,000, and they've been dry loads. So it's even better because I ain't got to pay for the fuel on the reefer. So how's the weather where you guys are? Here's what we're looking at. My windshield is destroyed because of the bugs, but it's a beautiful day. Got the little mountains over there. We've got this guy pulling in beside of me here. He's docking up, getting in the door. A lot of the trucks up here is the is the heavy haul. They got a lot of instead of having the 18 wheels, or as my father-in-law says, I don't have 18, I got 14 because I got super singles versus the doubles, the duals, whatever. But they got like 20 some tires, and they got those little small tires that go down in the back and in the front as well. So very nice in North Carolina. Lex, rain and wind, yeah. We ain't had too much rain up here. I was looking at the so actually before I even came up to the Oregon area, my very first thing was, what's the weather like? Because the weather's so freaking crazy. Georgia, cloudy, 77. I'm doing good, Dale. Doing good. Getting jarred over here a little bit, but other than that, I'm all right. But I haven't caught a whole lot of rain, and just to be honest with you, I don't think it's rained here where I've been, and I would say probably over 5 days, 4 or 5 days. Because I got in California, I actually got in Texas last Thursday, and it rained. So it's rained one time since not the last, but the following. So 2 weeks ago. So been about 10 or 14 days, which I'm all right with. I definitely didn't want to get up here and it start. I had never driven up on I-5 all the way up to Oregon. Actually, I was right. I had to go through Portland, and I was right on the border of Washington and Oregon. And so I'm rolling through I-5, and I thought California was really known for its marijuana and everything, but I tell you what, Oregon, man, they have it on another level. They have so on I-5 they had a cannabis shop. It was called High Five Cannabis Shop, and in Oregon, I don't know this, but to be the gospel or whatever, but evidently they allow you to grow your own, and so you'll go through like certain spots, and I'm telling you, man, it's just like you went straight through a weed factory. I mean, it's my fleet manager is probably going to take me back and drug test me. Did you ever get your money back from all the breakdowns? Not yet. I haven't yet. So I was in Denver. I was in Denver last weekend, actually last Friday, and I talked to my fleet manager about it. And so the road assist lady, she said sometimes it takes up to 6 weeks. He said that it should never take up to 6 weeks. So, I told him that how I asked him first if what the people in his fleet had to say about, because each fleet has their own contact person, their road assist, their payroll, their fleet managers. I mean, everything is, you have your own people, your logs, and he said that a lot of people did not agree. He didn't want to say didn't like her, but did not agree with some of the things that she does, because I've had issues. I've had situations where I've had a flat tire, or the trailers had a flat tire. The hose is busted, the air's been an issue. So I've had several run-ins with them, and it's just nobody ever tells you. So when I was talking to her before, she said, well, did you keep the part? And I'm like, no, I didn't keep the part. Like, nobody told me ever to keep the part. And she was like, well, you should always keep the part. And I'm thinking, like, I've had how many breakdowns with you, with the other air and all that stuff, but you never tell me to keep anything. Well, you was at the international dealership. Well, you still didn't tell me to keep anything. So don't try to use that as something that happened friggin' 4 weeks ago and ask me if I kept a part, or, well, I'll call the place to see if they still have it. Like, a place is going to keep something for 4 weeks, a broken part. Just some of the things they say is crazy. So, but hopefully I'll get it here pretty soon. We're actually going to I'm doing home time from the 9th of November. We're going to take a cruise. So me and the wife is going to head out to the cruise. She's done a couple cruises without me with her parents, but I haven't been on a cruise. And we used to cruise every year, sometimes multiple times a year. But she's been on a few, like I said, with her mom and her dad. But either I was too busy at work, or I had some things I had to do and just couldn't go. Then do what exactly, Clinton? Exactly. I mean, basically, I guess you're just supposed to keep it in your truck and bring it back to Springfield so they can send it back. Like, I don't want to keep a dirty part in my freaking truck. I mean, just some of the things they say freaking stupid. I mean, right now I got freaking chains in my freaking floorboard in a tote because guys. So we're going to cut this short right now because I got the green light, which means I can get up out of here. So you guys be safe. I'll get back with you here. I got some road footage and some other videos that I'll be putting out, kind of catching up. But check out my Instagram, check out my Facebook, Rolling for Time, and you guys be safe.